Hey everybody, this is Sam from the Game Shark, and here I'm doing another review. This time I'm going to be reviewing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. The story is pretty simple. The Kongs are celebrating Donkey Kong's birthday, and the party is crashed by an evil walrus and his gang of penguins, and they freeze Donkey Kong's island and pretty much take over. It's up to Donkey Kong and his friends to take it back and unfreeze his jungle home. Now for gameplay, it's a side-scroller platform, and it controls very well. I would recommend using the Wii U Pro controller just because you don't really need the gamepad for this game. Now in the game there are plenty of secrets to be found in each level, like puzzle pieces and banana coins, and also collect bananas, and if you get 100 bananas that gives you one free life. There are 6 different worlds you must go through to take back Donkey Kong Island. Every island you go through has a different setting and feel to it. I will talk more about the levels later on in this review. To attack enemies, Donkey Kong can either roll over or jump on his enemy. Now when it comes to your health, you have 2 hearts with just Donkey Kong. If you add another Kong, that adds 2 more hearts to your life for a total of 4 hearts. And when it comes to the Kongs, you have a choice of 3 Kongs you can use. One, you have Diddy Kong, who has a jetpack on his back that lets you hover for a short period of time to get over obstacles. Second Kong is Dixie Kong. She's able to use her hair as a helicopter propeller to pretty much do the same thing as Diddy Kong and hover over obstacles. And then you get the newly added Cranky Kong, and he uses his cane like a pogo stick, kind of like Scrooge McDuck in the NES classic DuckTales. And there's also Funky Kong. You can't use him, but you can buy items from him that will help you along in this game, such as an extra health, more life, and it seems there's only one of your animal friends in this game, which is Rambi the rhino. It's a shame you didn't see other pets besides him and the parrot, but even the parrot you can't use. Actually, he just helps you find peace. It's a shame you don't have any more animal friends in this game besides Rambi. The boss battles are fun as hell, but can be very difficult at times. Expect to die a few times. It's more of a trial and error type fight. Once you get the pattern down, you will make them bow down to you, and you beat the living shit out of them before you send them flying. They range from all sorts of animals. You have an owl or a polar bear, baboons, fish. It's a very good mix-up, much better than the bosses in Donkey Kong Country Return. Difficulty, the game mixes it up very well between easy and hard. Most of the game is a decent challenge, but some parts will just make you just want to pull out your hair because they're just so frustrating. This is the first time Donkey Kong has been in HD, and I must say it looks amazing. Retro went all out with this game. They put so much passion into this game. This game runs at 720p at a smooth 60 frames per second. It looks and runs perfectly. The level design is one of the best parts of this game. Like I said, you go through 6 islands. Island 1 is a jungle theme, of course. Island 2 is a beautiful village in a forest near the mountains. Island 3 looks like Africa, and it feels like the levels from The Lion King on the Sega Genesis. Island 4 is the underwater world. Every game must have one. Okay, Island 5 is a jungle with a fruit factory in there with some really big fruit. Island 6 is Donkey Kong's island, but it's all frozen over. There are so many types of levels, like for instance, there's levels you go crazy when you're just shooting out of tons of barrels. There's levels where you can ride a rocket barrel, you're running from a giant octopus, levels on fire, stages that are just so dark you can just see your silhouette. There's tornadoes, blizzards, stages when you're underwater which look amazing. I am very impressed by Retro. All I can say is wow. They showed they understood what Donkey Kong fans like me wanted out of a Donkey Kong Country game. The music is really good. It's not as good as the original games and maybe not as memorable, but it's still really good, and they have some nice remixes of some songs from the original games that you will remember. The music in the opening cutscene though is just beautiful. The boss fight songs sound real epic as well. Like you hear the guitars and the drums, you just know that it's a boss fight song. All the world's music matches each level pretty well. I would play you some of the music, but YouTube would be flagging this whole video if I use any of it. So if you want to hear it, just check it out on YouTube from people that just like to upload music. You know what's out there. Just go look it up. It sucks that companies and YouTube are claiming these videos for just audio. It's really dumb. What I like about this game is that it's a platformer, which is my favorite genre. It has the classic feel of the Donkey Kong Country series. It adds just enough to make it feel fresh. One thing I must applaud Retro for is that they made the rocket barrels much easier to use than they were in Donkey Kong Country Returns, which were extremely hard to use and made the game so freaking difficult. Level designs are jaw-dropping and a sight to see. They are very fun to go through, and I never felt bored for a second while playing this game. Each second kept me entertained the whole way through. What I love also is that the game is very easy to pick up and play. Anyone can just pick up the controller and start playing and have a blast with it. Now this game is a multiplayer game. You can play with 2 people. I haven't tried it, but if it's like Donkey Kong Country Returns, then it should work just fine. The music is great, just sucks that I can't let you listen to it on this video. But the music is great, trust me. If you love Donkey Kong and if you know how that music sounds, then you should know this game's gonna have some good music. I love the enemies and the bosses in this game. They all look fantastic. They all feel very different. All the bosses feel very different when they fight. They all have different styles. It's very fun and very interesting. This is what I didn't like about this game. Even though there are puzzle pieces throughout each level, and I'm pretty sure that they unlock extra levels, I didn't really care about doing so. I'm sure other people would disagree with me. I just felt no need to find all of them. Maybe I will go back later on my free time and playing it and get all these puzzle pieces, but I just didn't feel the need to do it. It just seemed like it would take more time to get through the game by doing all this. Some of the bosses can be extremely brutal at points. It would just piss you off so badly. Also, I would have been happier with it just taking 6 hits instead of 9 hits. Sometimes those boss fights drag on, and when you have to keep repeating them again and again and again, it gets so frustrating. Also, I wish once in a while they would throw a Kong barrel at you during the fight so you can get a chance to have another Kong with you. Sometimes you lose your second Kong way too fast over some cheapnesses that the bosses have, and you just need that extra hit points. As much as I like the character Cranky Kong, I didn't really like using him in this game. Being able to hover feels amazing. When you have to use his cane, sometimes you don't do it right and you just end up taking a hit. I kept taking hits constantly with Cranky Kong. There's a reason why I hardly ever used them in the game. As much as I like seeing them, I don't like using the cane. I think it works fine in DuckTales, but here I just kept taking hits because sometimes I just didn't hit the button at the right time and I took hits constantly. I constantly lost Cranky Kong. Retro, you need to fix that with Cranky because it did not feel very good. I'm also disappointed that they still have to rely on classic songs for most of the game. Don't get me wrong, I like hearing them. Sometimes I feel they just use them because they know they can't create awesome songs like the original. The songs are good, don't get me wrong, but they don't match up to the original games. Now, some of the levels can just be brutal at times. If your timing isn't 100% perfect, you will die a lot, and I mean a lot. There are some stages that you will lose like 20 plus lives, or at least I did, at certain areas of this game. Sometimes the difficulty of this game just skyrockets out of nowhere. It's crazy. Sometimes it can be fun, but after a while of playing the same part again and again and again, it gets tiresome and it just frustrates you. I also really miss the Kremlins and King K. Rool. I hope they bring them back soon. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right without them. I saw a great idea from someone on the Miiverse about this game, and they said maybe for the 3rd game of this new trilogy, they should add the Tikis from Donkey Kong Country Returns, add these enemies from this game, and add the Kremlins and King K. Rool also, so you have all 3 of Donkey Kong's enemies in one game. I think that is a great idea. That's amazing, and Retro, you should do that for the 3rd game. Now for my final review score, I give Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze a 9 out of 10. It is so damn near perfect. Just a few flaws here and there, but this game's pros clearly outweigh the cons by a long shot. If you're looking for a great fun game, this is it. I highly recommend getting a Wii U for this game. It's just amazing. Retro shows so much passion and love for this franchise with this game. I love them for it. Retro is the new Rare to me. There is no way this game can disappoint you. Okay, well, this has been another review from the Game Sharks by Sam. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and comment, like, subscribe. If I missed out some things, if you like or didn't like certain things about this game, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. I would love to talk about it. But for me, this is it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep on gaming.
Hey there, little girl. What's your favorite kind of music?
I love thrash metal.
What?